And now they are down here for the Pro Superstar Shootout by Skag. I was listening to the announcers make fun of how long the name is.
It's a lot.
It's a wordy name.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah.
So you guys are down here. Is this your first like Top Fuel funny car experience?
We went to Pomona 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We went to Pomona 2 years ago. It was the first NHRA event I think any of us had ever been to.
It's fun.
The finals.
Shit went limp over there, bro.
Yeah, I went to the finals at Pomona.
Yeah, we went to it was really awesome to go to that, and we got to go up the starting line and all that stuff, and it was cool to experience for sure. But this is like a different animal because like where the people stand on the fence to the wall of the track is 30 feet.
Yeah.
You are 30 feet away, 35, we'll say, 35 feet away from 12,000 horsepower. There's no NHR event anywhere you're going to get that close.
No.
Yeah, like people go to Gainesville for the Gator Nationals. That's like the big Florida one. But like
It's so far away.
you're in a stadium, basically.
Yeah.
This is a quaint little facility.
Dude, it is. And they packed them in there. I've never seen, that was the most, I don't know who organized or orchestrated the parking of everybody. Tip of the hat.
Killed
I was
it.
thinking that same thing. I was
Tip of
like,
the hat.
these drivers are badass because the tents, like, they don't know how long the tents are going to be.
Brother.
And then they're up against each other with like an inch to spare. I'm
It's
like,
crazy. It's crazy how they do that stuff.
That
Yeah,
is
I don't
still-
get how it's so like with FL2K. I mean, those are smaller setups, and it seems way more packed. Like
Well, it's a bunch of idiots. You know, like we don't do this professionally at FL2K.
Right, but they're
buttoned
They
up,
packed
right?
them, and they're taking some of the Freedom Factory's landscape or,
Yeah.
or the parking lot over there to fit everybody. But geez, so many setups over there.
As in idiots, I mean people that don't professionally race like me. Like
Just us normal
you know, people
people.
that kind of just roll up and they're just like,
yeah,
I hope to park next to my buddy.
Yeah.
Versus like the professional teams, like you look at what is it, Elite Motorsports, where they're like
yep.
14 cars and 12 tents. Like they have like half the field is Elite Motorsports.
That's what makes it. I mean, at least for me as a photographer, like having those big teams, everything's so colorful, and the team's jerseys match, and the car matches, and as like trying to capture content that's visually appealing. Everything's always filling the frame, and like I said, it's colorful, and there's action, and at all these big production events, there's just signage and people, and it just seems like everything looks cool. It's almost hard to take a bad photo at these. And I think it'd be cool to kind of merge the street car world and then NHRA and bring it down to where it's more personal. You can kind of get to know the drivers more. Maybe you don't have to like wait in line or an hour for an interview.
NHRA feels like just corporate, and then this does not feel corporate.
Yeah.
When we're at this event, it's
Yeah.
just it feels like what it is, which is just like 12,000 horsepower cars going down a track that was never this was never intended to have those cars on.
Yeah, I mean 341 miles an hour, the fastest pistoned car ever down a track.
Yeah, and this is at Bradenton. This isn't at a big NHRA track that they go to every year. This is the first time they've been in Bradenton since, I don't know, 20 years? When's the last time they did a race here?
I know it's been 15 since they've done Nitro.
'Kay.
But 15 years ago was such a different, like, they're
Dude,
not the same car.
They were almost still running
I think they were
quarter mile.
I think it's 12 years.
07 or 08, I think is when they started doing 1,000 foot. So a little more than 15 years ago is when they stopped doing quarter mile.
I was watching, there was a pretty cool video of John Force running at Bradenton in 1984.
Jeez.
And like, the Freedom Factory's in the background, and they're like getting like a young John Force interview, and I'm like, he has just been racing forever.
He's timeless.
They said 155 career wins.
Damn.
That's like 7 a year since he started doing it. They said, I was like, it just like is unfathomable.
How long do you think he's going to keep racing for?
I don't know if he'll ever really stop.
How old is he now?
That'd be worth a Google.
Yeah,
he's
I don't
in his
know.
70s.
Hey, Jamie?
Easy.
Jamie, can you look that up?
Yeah, we got it. You ain't got a Jamie yet? It's been a year since we've been here. You ain't upgraded to a Jamie?
I don't have anybody. I was thinking I would love like an AI system,
Okay, right.
like a sit in that I could just have
cool.
do that and maybe run like a camera switcher or something, but we're not there yet. I don't know. Maybe he would take my job, so don't worry. I would just be obsolete at that point. But the drivers seem really happy and relaxed as well, not being an NHRA event. And, not to bag on them too much, even though I've openly attacked NHRA my entire career. I don't enjoy their whole operation. So it's nice to see like the drivers sticking it to them by putting bigger payouts, and the pro event, which is the professional racers organization, putting on this event, giving themselves big payouts, what they deserve to run cars that they have to turn around in 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. They only get 50 minutes to turn those cars around. Mm-hmm. All new everything. I can't even cool my car down in 50 minutes.
Okay, so I was talking to one of the guys on the Clay Millican crew, and I was like, how fast can you guys do this? If you guys are all like, you're on board or whatever. And he said, well, right now, since this is preseason, basically right now, almost everybody's in a new job to what they were last year. So everybody's still learning and everything. He's like, but there was a crew apparently in 16 or 17 that tore it down in 26, or tore it down, put it back together 26 minutes. They pulled it into the pit spot, he told me, and within 2 minutes it was bare block. And then within the next 24 minutes, completely reassembled and running.
Just think about how hot that motor still is.
Dude, the pistons were probably still warm when they put them back in, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
You see them, they have like special tools to grab stuff with, and some have gloves or something.
The
clutches.
Yeah.
The clutches.
They have like little,
They got to sit there and like measure the clutches when they're thousands
smoking
of degrees.
Still. It's like, so crazy.
They're like gloved all the way up to their. They set up like full cleaning stations. Like, this is my first time experiencing that, where like every team sets up a whole booth area, like a whole tent, just for like cleaning off parts. And like that just doesn't even like make sense that they're going through this much stuff. And another funny thing my wife said while we were watching it, she's like, I feel like, these guys really like run an event. Like, there's no like oil downs, there's not tractors constantly. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of professionals. Like, you go to Sick Week and you see a lot of tractors.
Yeah, that's true. Now, a stat that I like to tell people, because this put in perspective for us when we went to our first event in Pomona for NHRA stuff, was if they don't break anything, every single hit is $12,000 to $15,000. If they don't break anything. Now, with that being said, if you win an NHRA event, you get $50,000. So that covered 3 hits, which is qualifying. Mm-hmm. So it didn't even cover the elimination rounds. You get $50,000 at NHRA, you get $250,000 at this event. Mm-hmm. Insane.
This event is weird too because they've never allowed testing previously. There's no testing the days up to an NHRA event. It's qualifying. Mm-hmm. They have been testing since Monday.
Yeah.
So like
any team that wanted to test, yeah.
They have a lot of laps on their cars already. They kind of have a good grasp on the track, which is why you're seeing 241 miles an hour.
It's just awesome to
in
see
Q3.
That.
Fastest pass ever at Bradenton. It just doesn't even. It's so cool that that's at the home track.
The coolest part is it's at a track that shouldn't have those cars at it. Yeah. And that just gives it a testament, first of all, to the track, Victor and all them guys, because like that track, like those cars shouldn't be doing that. They should be doing that at an NHRA big track. Z-Max that holds 50,000 people.
It's a different vibe at this.
Oh, it's a complete that event right there is a vibe right now. Like, I can't wait till tomorrow. We're gonna have to get there at 5 a.m. to beat people there, but it's gonna be a vibe.
Like, we've done Streetcar Takeover, we've done FL2K, the GTR World Cup, we've done a bunch of events. Cletus and Cars, like a ton of things at Bradenton. And well, no, like even just at Bradenton.
Yeah.
And which is like it's like our cars, our people. And you're just kind of running around. No one really, like, obviously, don't be dumb. Don't want to run on the track when it's live. But you can pretty much go wherever and do whatever, and it's chill. And it's crazy that, like, when we went to the NHRA event out in Pomona, it was very strict. Everywhere I went, I was, like, checking over my shoulder 3 times to make sure I wasn't walking in front of cars, cameras. Just everyone is going so fast and in a huge hurry. And I was like, shit. But here, dude, it's like, it's so weird. Like, we're at the chill track, and it seems pretty chill.
That's honestly the vibe. Because when we went to Pomona, it almost felt like I was at my first drag race again.
Yeah.
It was like I felt so out of place, and it was just like it was
almost felt like we didn't belong.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's like we filmed drag racing. I should feel like I should. It was weird. And then here, it feels like we're at like a streetcar takeover with 12,000 horsepower cars.
Yeah, like COTS. Like it's not as aggressive, but dude, the start line.
And you're talking a street race.
There's so many people up here at the NHRA thing. Okay, so I get down up against the wall so I can get like this real low shot of the car launching with like the sky and everything in the back. And I get down to where I am literally from me to you, actually probably closer to be completely honest. I'm from me to you, from the headers to the back rear tire. And this thing just, whoom, and like I have to recover to like see again and breathe again. I mean, it is just insane. You just come out of it laughing with a big smile on your face.
Yeah, there's no way I could stand where I'm standing right now at an NHRA event to film cars.
Oh, there'd be like 12 people like...
No, because no one's allowed up there
until you move.
Oh yeah,
it would be
facts.
Stop all.
But that's
so cool.
I walked up there and I was filming these top fuel funny cars and top fuel rail cars, just like there were any other car standing where I want to on the track to get the good shot, and it's wild.
There's nothing like seeing those flames out of the nitro cars.
10-foot flames.
It is insane out of each cylinder. Like the flames are just awesome. But to talk about Bradenton, I know so many people that live in like states like Ohio and stuff that consider Bradenton their home track, just because they're like, that's our home track. Like we go to Bradenton to race. Like it's just, like the IDS guys are always like, oh yeah, like Bradenton's the home, like down there. And it's just funny because it is for a lot of people, especially throughout the winter where most of the country isn't racing. Yep. And then Bradenton's spraying more glue than any other track ever. And they had to scrape from the 1,000-foot to the starting line for this race.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Because it's, it's a radial prep track, and these tires, I don't know, I guess they're weird. They don't like that radial prep.
They had to scrape the whole thing and then put all the rubber down.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's too sticky. I remember they say for like the big tires, they need a little slit so they can kind of come over on themselves.
It's weird because I have been outspoken about how I didn't really care about this style racing very much. But then, when it's here and when it's outlaw, it's like it piques the interest a lot more.
Isn't that weird? See, if NHRA came down to Bradenton, it'd be like, it's like it's corporate event. It's like I just feel like it's just going to be like, oh, we're going to stop racing for commercial breaks and this, that, and the other. It's like, but then you go to this, and it's like it's being broadcast on Flow just like it would be an NHRA event. Exact same thing. They got top end interviews and all that stuff on Flow, but it just feels like this is like you said, like an outlaw race. This shouldn't be happening, and it's awesome that it is.
It makes me like Top Fuel a lot more watching it like this, for sure. And it just I don't know why. I don't know. Like I get what you're saying, but it just is weird how it just connects differently. Yep. I don't know. And maybe that'll bring more people to NHRA and more people into Top Fuel, but they probably don't see it that way. They probably see it as like, how dare you step on our deal.
Exactly.
They self-tech. There's not like all the top fuel guys, they self-tech. There's no guy that inspects their cars.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's what Clay told me. I was like, how do they tech? They're like, we self-tech.
Like, is it?
Hang on. So the fastest cars in the world, NHRA doesn't tech them.
They self-tech.
But if you want to run a 999, they're gonna throw you out if you don't have a bar. Like, really? Is this what we're talking about?
That's what Clay said.
The same people.
I don't
doing
understand
that?
how they implement a rule. Like they stiffened up the chassis for this year on the Top Fuel.
So they need to check to make sure they're stiffer, right? They're just gonna be like, who welded it together? Oh, Bob. Bob does a good job.
Looks good.
We know Bob. Bob did good.
It's weird. I don't know. They self-tech. I mean, I know at this race they have some tech directors, but they don't like, you don't line up and go through every car.
Okay, but here's the deal. It's not like we're looking at like 800 cars on the property. There's 12 Top Fuel cars. We can't get one guy to walk to 12 different pit spots. They don't even have to take it anywhere. Just have one guy walk around 12 cars. That'll take an hour.
Well, think about this.
We'll be done.
So, you've been to World Cup. They check your turbo. They mark things they know. They pull this car apart every run. Like, what are those markings like, or like checking anything? Like, it's all gone at that point. Like, you can't. It doesn't make much sense because like they're strict at World Cup, but like you're not changing your engine after every other run.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fairly frequent, but it's not as frequent as these guys. So like, okay, you measured the piston this run. The sleeve is in the trash after that run. Like they had a trash can full of sleeves, just of engine sleeves. They just knock them out.
It's just a different world.
I guess maybe it gives them just like a tiny bit. I mean, just off the top, maybe it gives them a little bit more freedom with what they can do because it's so strict with the engine, the size, displacement, like everything they're restricted to. They're kind of running the same setup. So I know racing is kind of just pushing the limits and figuring out what you can and can't do. So maybe it's good that they self-tech because there can be like little things that, not that they're like breaking the rules, but maybe there's little things they can change here and there that give them an advantage that can at least give some kind of competitiveness to what they're doing.
It's weird because like, to switch up like Ultra Street, which James races, they changed this year. You can no longer run brass nitrous jets. You have to be stainless steel because the brass ones wear out over time. And they don't measure the same. Oh. So everybody had to switch their jets. And they don't even make stainless steel. Everybody uses brass. So like they had to get all these custom ones made for Ultra.
That would have been a great opportunity to start creating.
Oh yeah, the guy who made that rule should have had a company going under a different LLC or something.
There you go.
Well, not all companies are okayed either, I guess.
Oh,
so like
really?
Wow, Nitrous can really just give all the money to one.
Like Nitrous Outlet, I think jumped on it real quick. David Vassner.
Yeah.
He was pretty quick on it because somebody had to make them.
Yeah.
So he was making them for all the Ultra Street guys. But it's just like one of those things where this tiny little rule, and even like bottle size, they switched from like you couldn't have 20 pounds, you had to have 10 pounders. Like the rules are so tight on all these things, and then you get up into top field and they're just like, live it up, dude.
It's like, it's probably like, how fast could they possibly go? Like, how much faster? If like, even if they didn't do what we told, it's like, how much faster could they possibly go?
I think we're gonna see
like,
faster.
It's like, 241 apparently.
We'll see faster than that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I think I said the same thing. Yeah,
341
tomorrow.
Tasca.
I mean, when they're actually like balls to the wall, I think we're gonna see faster.
I think the night air helped a lot as well.
Yeah,
because last night is when we did 339. It's night 341.
Oh yeah,
and then they did chip draw. Like friggin' Outlaws.
Really?
I didn't see.
Yeah, they chip drew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they went up on the stage and drew chips for first round.
That's cool as hell.
That's super cool.
Like, this is like a street race.
I love it. And okay, so you know how you're talking about like it's different to see these guys and it's like you're sort of interested in the top fuel. All the guys that are here, Fred was mentioning, all the people that are here racing are here because they want to be here. They want to race. They're actually racers. Like the guys that
there's other NHRA teams that did not come out for this.
Yeah, and it's like they're just like
funny car teams that they could have come out to this and they said no, we're not going to come to that event.
Well, it was also invitational, so some people didn't even
get an invite.
But if they turned it down,
which is real unfortunate. I'm sure some ignored it because they just because this isn't the start of their point series.
I just think it's cool that
they don't want to. They don't want to put more damage on the cars, but you're getting reps with the crew. I see that as huge.
Well, tons of test passes, like you said.
Yeah, Tony Stewart isn't driving this. He starts NHRA at the Gator Nationals in a couple weeks. Leah Pruitt is still driving it.
Until the Gator Nationals.
Yeah, they're switching over after this event.
Gotcha.
Which is an interesting deal there too.
Yeah.
He chose, maybe he has a deal with NHRA
where he won't go to Outlaw
he
events.
Has to race that.
Since she's no longer a driver, she can do it technically.
I don't know.
There's big names. John Force here, Ron Capps here. I mean, all the big guys that I ever really remember seeing.
I don't think NHRA can tell John Force to do anything. I think he can do whatever the hell he wants.
If he stopped showing up to an event at NHRA, I think they would lose a lot of their participation.
Yeah, so if they're like, you can't do that, and he's like, I'll just retire. And then you could just hear the gasps at the front offices of NHRA. It's like, no.
He'll just come run sick week or something.
If you,
Oh my God.
in a funny car.
Can you imagine like a funny car, like
Some
put to
nitro.
street mode?
Or get like Tom Bailey, Lutz, maybe like Larson, like a bunch of guys together, and then they build John Force a drag and drive car.
Lutz is a big top fuel guy. I mean, he's there
Lutz
all
was
week.
freaking wrenching on Milliken's
He's
car.
literally, he's part of the crew. He's working hard. He's on the supercharger crew. At least today he was.
You know those things are like 100 pounds.
Oh, we saw him
Those 2 guys
struggling.
lifting
It looked
them up. I was
tough.
like, oh,
I'm
I'm
Look
like,
wicked.
the one guy was like, at Milliken's pits, they were taking the supercharger, they were putting it on, and one of the guys is way taller than the other guy. I was like, this doesn't seem fair at all.
The other guy's like,
Like the other guys have to lift it up, and he's just like, oh, here we go.
The nitro bath is fun. They start those things up, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh god,
Dude, watching
Please.
my favorite thing now tomorrow will be a lot more people, so we'll probably get more people on this one. Is people that have not been to an event with NHRA cars warming up in the pits. Oh, their car started. Let me go over and film it. And then, dude, I saw a family. The dad was like the only one that didn't look like. First, he had like tears in his eyes, but all the kids and the wife, so 3 kids and the wife, had their shirts above here. You could tell the kids were crying, but like not like tears, but they were like, I can't breathe, like crying, like scared crying. And they were walking away from the pits and just seeing all the adults that are just like, this is fine. And then like the grown men start crying and run away and gasping for air. Oh, it's the funnest thing in the world to see.
We were all bathing in it yesterday, and I saw James Toll just sitting there like eyes wide open. I was like, you're just like fighting through it right now.
So-
for what?
So if you go, are you going tomorrow?
I'm gonna try to make it out tomorrow.
Okay.
you need to.
If it's too if the line to get in is like an hour,
Well,
I
just
may
if
have to,
the line is coming through your neighborhood, then yeah, you should probably not go.
It's true. It might start right here.
Right, but I was
Circle the Starbucks, and then it'll go.
Park and get a scooter.
yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a better route. You can park pretty far away and have somebody on a golf cart ride the shoulder way up to get you,
That's fair.
and you can kind of just skip some of the line. Like if you park like a garage shop or something, or like even farther down there,
That's a good call.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
a scooter or something.
you can skip. Or like James's house is like right up the street also.
We're getting
Yeah.
there real early tomorrow.
Yeah, like early.
You can
real
almost walk
early.
through the woods to get there. But that's like, I've heard that of early South Georgia, like lights out, where people were literally just like at the fences to get in because there was so much like
Hype.
desire to get in, and the tickets were sold out, and people are like climbing under fences and stuff, and like
Jesus.
yeah,
That's
like
cool
some of
though.
those early
the fact
lights
that people
out,
are that excited about drag racing, hell yeah.
especially lights out. I mean, it's such a heritage event. It's lost some of its sparkle, I think, in the last 5 years because radial tire racing has become a little weird, I would say.
Yeah, it's not as big as it used to be. Like you used to hear every one of Duck's events, you'd hear the record would get broke like at least twice or something like that.
Well, the problem is RVW died. Like they don't even have RVW at a bunch of different races. And then those were the really fast cars. They all kind of switched to Pro Mod. Pro Mod is now huge, 50 cars per event, big tire. But then radial tire racing is so tough to spectate. That's what I think does it. Because you guys know more than anyone how much time you're sitting around at a radial tire race.
Yeah, there's yeah.
Streetcar Super Nationals.
Oh my gosh.
They had to refuel 3
That- so-
tractors.
Oh, in
every day.
Vegas.
If we want to switch it up, you want to talk about one of the events that just, oh my gosh, I've never seen that many oil downs at a single event. And apparently they were tech was they were supposed to have diapers and belly pans and all that stuff.
Well, first,
And I don't know how you missed that many because there's no way.
I guess they didn't check very hard. The cars there,
Buddy.
top notch. Some of the sweet, the
Oh,
fastest,
awesome cars
most
come out to
beautiful
the
cars.
event.
Track was sick.
But then you got to think it's the last event of the year for all these guys on the West Coast, pretty much until winter break.
I guess it was freezing. We were in like winter coats and stuff.
Yeah, so it's
It
like
gets cold at that track, surprisingly.
it did get chilly. We experienced our first haboob.
Oh yeah, you know what haboob is?
It's a sandstorm. Didn't know that because there's a haboob coming. I was like, what the fuck are we
very
talking about?
racist.
It's like, I don't know what the hell this is. No,
Oh, God.
no,
I was
but
thinking of boobs.
So over the 3 days we were there, 3 days we were there, 26 oil downs. like what he said, they had to refill
Like real oil downs where they like break at the starting line.
Like
of oil
2
down.
hours
and
to clean
real
up.
quick on top of that, they're 4 lanes wide. Okay, so
Switch back.
they'd be running, I think a slick tire in these lanes and then radial in these lanes, and they were down to like the last pair for radial on this lane and oiled down.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.